How many of you remember this theme song? It was on the Benny Hill show, but if I'm not mistaken, when we lived in the St. Louis area from 1969 to 1970, I believe it was also the theme song for the kids show Corky the Clown. Hello, and welcome to another episode of This, That, and the Other, and I will be talking about the history of Corky the Clown. Cliff St. James played Corky the Clown. He was born June 3rd, 1925 in Niagara Falls, New York, the oldest of three children. Died December 9th, 2016 of pneumonia at St. Luke's Hospital. In 1943, he joined the Army. In the Army, he served with the 591st Field Artillery Battalion of the 106th Infantry Division in northern France and Germany, including the Battle of the Bulge. He was 18 and was assigned to be a radio man for a military artillery observer. It was an awfully scary thing, he said, especially when your observer is killed on your first night out. I learned what it was like to be an open season on you. You're a fair game for the enemy. In Germany, he also helped put on shows for troops and found they loved performing. When he was discharged in 1946, he enrolled at Eastman School of Music in Rochester, New York. There he met his wife, Nancy Babcock. They were married in 1948 and for a time were husband-wife routine on the air. Nancy St. James was also a popular voice for St. Louis. Early 1950s, he came to St. Louis to work at KWK and KSD radio stations. 2 years later, he took a job as a freelance announcer at KSD TV, the only TV station in town at the time. He started hosting Corky the Clown in 1954, and the show was on all the way until 1980. It was the highest-rated local children's show in the U.S. In 1966, it became Corky's Colorama and was the first show in St. Louis to be broadcast in color, which is why Corky sometimes had a green or blue face. Station executives did not want to experiment with color on the news broadcast, so they gave it to the clown to lead the way, Mr. St. James noted in a past interview. Also, it's likely he was the first and only person in St. Louis television history to do the weather in full clown regalia. He also did the weather after doing his kids' show. Corky was televised from 4 to 4:30 p.m., followed by the news at 5 p.m., so he had at least 20 minutes to get out of his clown makeup and costume, to put on a coat and tie and rush down the hall to a newsroom studio. But TV during the 1950s was live, and sometimes shows ran longer than scheduled. When that happened, viewers watching the news would sometimes see Corky appear instead of Mr. St. James in the weather segment. That was probably pretty interesting to see that. After he left KSDK in 1981, he worked in promotions and community relations for Southwestern Telephone Company until 1989. He continued doing television and radio appearances and was one of the most in-demand voice talents in the St. Louis market. I'm going to go ahead and end this with more of that song that I believe was the intro song for Corky the Clown. Like, subscribe, share. As always, thanks for watching. I like this song. I'm letting it go for a while.